The Gobi Desert is a place where life clings like a secret. A place where heat warps the horizon and silence feels like it's waiting. For generations, travelers have whispered about a creature out here. No eyes. No mercy. A living intestine that kills with lightning or poison. They call it the Olgoi-Khorkhoi, the Mongolian Death Worm. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're taking a journey into legend territory. The Mongolian Death Worm. Is it a real desert predator science hasn't caught yet? A misidentified animal supercharged by folklore? Or just one of the most metal campfire stories ever told? We're going to break down the sightings, the expeditions, the biology, and figure out whether something terrifying really slithers under the Gobi sands. Stick around. And don't step anywhere soft. In Mongolian, Olgoi-Khorkhoi translates to intestine worm. And honestly, that's exactly what it looks like according to the people who believe in it. Witnesses describe a creature 2 to 5 feet long, bright red, thick as a man's arm, living just beneath the sand. It supposedly surfaces after heavy rain or when thunder shakes the earth. And its weapons? Acidic spit that melts flesh, or a burst of electricity that can kill a camel on the spot. Real talk, if even half of that is true, we're dealing with a nightmare that didn't get the memo. Dinosaurs went extinct. But legend is only step one. The story jumped into Western imagination thanks to Roy Chapman Andrews, a real-life Indiana Jones and director at the American Museum of Natural History. During his 1920s expeditions, Mongolian officials told him they believed in a deadly desert worm. Andrews never saw one. Nobody he spoke to had seen one either. But the conviction in local voices stuck with him. He wrote it down. And that single mention quietly seeded a legend that would grow for nearly a century. Since then, brave, or very optimistic, explorers have gone worm hunting. Ivan Mackerel, 1990s, drove into the Gobi with a homemade mechanical thumper to shake worms out. Result: no worm. Some confused sand lizards. Center for Fortean Zoology, 2005. Interviewed locals, studied burrows. Conclusion? Witnesses may be describing burrowing snakes, like the sand boa. TV crews, 2006 to 2009. And absolutely nothing but wind and sand. Look, if the death worm exists, it's playing the best game of hide-and-seek in cryptid history. Biology check. Let's get nerdy in the best way. Is a deadly sandworm possible? Part 1. Size. A thick 2 to 5 foot worm? Earthworms that big don't exist, but thick burrowing reptiles do. Enter the Tartar sand boa, stout, red-tinted, lives in the Gobi. Part 2. Acid spit. Some animals spit toxic compounds, cobras say hi. So acidic projection isn't impossible, but no worm does it. Part 3. Electricity. Here's the big one. Powerful electric discharge? That's almost an aquatic superpower. Think eels and electric rays. Dry sand is terrible for conduction. Physics politely says, no shot. So biologically? A worm that shocks camels like a desert Pikachu is a stretch. What people might be seeing? Sand boas, worm lizards, amphispinians, rare snakes glimpsed as they burrow. Heat stroke hallucinations? Honestly, deserts do weird things to your senses. So if the evidence is weak, why does the Mongolian death worm endure? Because it feels true. The desert is vast, ancient, and unforgiving. Most of it has never been seen by human eyes. And humans love the idea that something ancient still lurks out there. Untamed and perfectly built to kill. Plus, let's be real. Flesh-melting worm that shoots lightning is a story that practically dares you to believe it. It's folklore with fangs. So, does the Mongolian death worm exist? We don't have physical proof. No fossils. No clear sightings. No shocking camels on recorded tape. But legends don't need proof to matter. They show what people fear, respect, and imagine. And in a world where satellites map our planet and cars drive themselves, There's something beautiful about a story that refuses to be buried. Maybe the death worm is a sand boa with a PR team. Maybe it's a creature science hasn't caught yet. Or maybe it's waiting under the dunes, patient as the desert itself. Either way, don't stand still out here too long. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more deep dives into the strange corners of our world. And if there's a cryptid you want covered next, drop it in the comments.